I haven't always been super into fitness. If anything, actually, it's been the opposite. There are a lot of new faces here, so I want to share my story with you. When I was younger, I was always pretty athletic. We had to play sports in my private school, and I loved field hockey. I was like totally obsessed with field hockey. I went to boarding school, which was like a totally normal thing, and I went for this specific field hockey program. And I ended up like not doing well in this program because I was just so nervous. I am so nervous in moments of like high stress, and the other girls on the team were so good, and I was so like not confident that I would just literally choke every time. I would just choke. Ended up getting mono my senior year of high school. I couldn't play on the varsity team, and it was like this huge deal. I was so sad. I also used to be a runner though. So when I wasn't playing field hockey, I was running. I loved cross country, and I used to do like kind of like half marathon type distances, like 7 miles was my favorite thing. And then in college, I always kind of ran, but like I did not take care of my health in college at all. I drank a lot of alcohol, and I just like that was not top of mind. I was so young, and I was still pretty active, but I remember like being in the gym and watching The Biggest Loser and being like so depressed because I was depressed because of all the alcohol and all the stuff that happens in college that like you are so grateful never happens again. Fitness was like not my identity by any means. I always wanted to work in fashion. I thought I wanted to be a writer, and then I thought I wanted to be a journalist, and then I studied art in college, but I went to college for journalism. Like I was still so lost. And then after college, I moved to Manhattan, and I wanted to work in fashion. That was always what I wanted to do. And I had like a lot of really great jobs and experiences, but I also had some really terrible ones. And I had jobs where I had terrible bosses. I worked for free, like everything in The Devil Wears Prada, like all of that times like 100. And I just got like so sick of the drama, the poor treatment, all of it. And I made friends with a lot of like really not nice people, and I was so freaking lost. I was so lost, and I was so miserable, and that was all just like fuel on my ED fire. And when I was 25, I had to get professional treatment for an eating disorder, and that was just like, it was awful. I basically ran myself into nothing. I was like 88 pounds at 5'2"-ish. It was terrible, and I did outpatient treatment, even though I should have gone to inpatient, but my parents let me not do that in Manhattan, and it was like a really hard time of my life. And I thought it was the hardest time of my life, but and this was after I had actually been assaulted in college. So before that was the hardest time. And then the ED recovery time was the hardest time. And then I had a really big medical incident that I'm not going to really talk about on social. But so like I had a lot of really intense traumatic experiences. And by the end of it, I was like, I clearly don't know how to take care of myself anymore. I felt in treatment, they literally teach you how to eat. Like you learn how to eat again. You learn like what normal exercise is. And it was just like this uphill battle. And I felt like even the people who were supposed to be helping me wouldn't really like fully understand me. Like there was just still this massive disconnect between like how to be healthy and health focused, but how to not like be obsessed about it. Fast forward a few years later, I met my now husband, and I had a better job still in fashion, but like it still wasn't enough. I got my MBA because I knew I wanted more for myself. And then basically I started my fitness Instagram kind of on the side, is just like documenting my journey, because I got injured running, and I was told I couldn't run for 6 months. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, because even though I was technically like in recovery and very much in a better path, like it takes time, and I did not know how I was going to handle myself. And so I started lifting weights, and like I literally started taking pictures of my body, because I couldn't believe that lifting weights and eating more was giving me what I thought eating less and running always would. So I was literally like documenting like the proof of it, because I could not believe it. And that's how this all started. And then some of my videos went viral. I started selling my 6-pack program. Like, someone would buy it, and I would literally email it to them. So like, if I was asleep and you bought my program all those years ago, I was waking up and like emailing it to you by hand. Like, it's so funny, like the amount of shit that influencers get, when like the reality is a lot of us like bootstrap businesses like that and work our freaking tailbones off. And, you know, people call it like luck, or people say that it's such a cushy job, like one of the least glamorous jobs I've ever had, right? Including like all the crap that I used to do in fashion. And like, that's how this started. And I just fell in love with the ability to help other women basically discover what I did, which was that eating more was the way, lifting weights was the way, and that wasting your life doing too much cardio is just not productive. And so like, when you guys hear me talk about like not overdoing cardio and eating enough, like that's where this is coming from. It's not a judgment on cardio. Cardio has its place, but like, I've been in the place where all I ever did was cardio, and it made me so sick. And I know that for a lot of women, you're just in that mindset of like, I have to do this. I have to burn these calories. This is the only way I'm going to stay thin. This is the only way someone's going to be attracted to me. This is the only way I'm going to like what I see in the mirror. I'm like, that is my bugaboo with cardio. Because to be honest, like, most women just don't have their relationship with lifting weights, because it's the total opposite. Because lifting weights gives you everything that running can't. And so that's how this journey started. And then I realized that this was really, I had something here, and I ended up going full-time in the business 2 years ago. My husband also went full-time in the business, and we've really just been building out my coaching program, what it offers, who I can help, and then also our new app goals, as I'm sure some of you guys know. When I think about like the trajectory and where I want it to go, like, we're only just getting started, but like, it's still just me. My husband now has a full-time job in consulting and AI, because he's brilliant and like AI is everywhere. I think it's important to share this with some of you, because I know that I get a lot of positive comments about how no bullshit I am and how honest I am, and like how I hold my clients to high standards because they deserve it and because I want the best for them. But like, I think this context matters. My favorite thing about one-on-one coaching is that I get to give women the gift that I was given. And now that I'm certified as a nutritionist and I'm getting my doctorate in nutrition, sports nutrition and exercise science, like, I'm literally able to share the research that I'm reading about in my program with my clients. I'm able to make adjustments, right? Like, it's really like a very active coaching experience. And like, I meet with my clients over Zoom every week. And I know that a lot of coaches now don't offer that. You know, the online coaching space has become more saturated, and there are a lot of people who aren't running their businesses in that way. And like, that's just not how I can be effective. So I am growing my team. I am hiring assistants and people to help me manage the increased volume and flow of clients, because at the end of the day, my goal is to help as many women as possible. But also, like, my program is priced at a premium because of that. And because you and I are getting to know each other and spend so much time together, because I've now partnered with a functional medicine doctor on the team, because I help, you know, connect you with the right partner for HRT and peptides and labs and all that. Like, this is not just another coaching program, and that's my goal. My goal is to give you what I was given, which means we have to look at everything in your life. We have to look at your mindset. We have to look at your stress, your deepest seated fears about eating more. Like, we have to go through it all. And when we go through it all, that's how the breakthroughs happen. So I hope this bit of my story helps all of you understand me a bit better, but also gives you some context to why I am truly so freaking passionate. Obviously, outside of just that, I have a really high standard for myself, and I expect a high quality of life for me, because we only live once, and you know, I don't want to have any regrets. And that sounds really cliche, but sometimes cliche things are true.